Today I'd like to take a look at one of the more iconic watches out there. Allow me to present the Omega Speedmaster Professional, also known as the Moon Watch, reference 3570.50. The Speedmaster has the distinction of being the first, although not the only watch to have been worn on the moon. Now, in the interest of being technically accurate, the reference that we're going to look at today is not the one that made it to the moon. The one that made it to the moon housed a different movement, probably caliber 321, which was column-based movement, as opposed to the movement in here, which is caliber 1861, which uses a shuttle cam system. A little bit more on the movement later. In spite of all this, 3570.50 is flight qualified by NASA for all manned space missions and is the only watch currently allowed for EVAs, or extravehicular activities. What that means is that if you're inside your space capsule, you're orbiting deep space and you need to go outside to do something, fix something, adjust something, whatever, you're permitted to strap this watch onto your spacesuit. Now, as for the watch itself, it's a manual wound chronograph, case and bracelet 316L steel. You can see it has a combination of brush surfaces and shiny surfaces. A nice tri-compax layout. You can see the 30-minute register at 3, the 12-hour register at 6, and the running seconds at 9. Case diameter, not including the crown, is 42 millimeters. Lug widths 20, and lug to lug 48. Case is asymmetric in the sense that the case on the crown side flares out just a little bit to form crown guards. You can also see these lugs have a little bit of a twist to them instead of being straight. See how they're twisted a little bit? These are sometimes referred to as Bombay lugs. Now, with the exception of the hands on the subdials, the hands and indices are treated with superluminova. Crystal's Hesalite, a trade name, I guess, for plastic or acrylic. The bezel has a tachometer on it to measure rates. Start and stop button for the chronograph at 2, reset button at 4. Screw on case back, water resistance of 50 meters. I would not, however, take this for a swim in spite of the water resistance rating. This is not a dive watch. Okay, so do not take this watch into the shower or for a swim in spite of the 50-meter water resistance. Not a good idea. You can see some of the writing on the back. You see? Flight qualified by NASA for all manned space missions. First watch worn on the moon. And you can see the logo in the center, the animal. I guess it's kind of like a seahorse. Something. I can't remember what the name of this animal is called. It just escapes my mind at this moment. Now, operating the watch is simple enough. When the crown is flush up against the case, it's winding, like so. Pull the crown out, 1 notch for hand setting. And when you're done, just push it back. Start the chronograph by depressing the pusher at 2. Stop by pushing it again, and reset by depressing the pusher at 4. Fairly standard. Now let's talk a little bit about the movement. It's caliber 1861. It's a Lamania-based movement. It's an 18 joule manual wound non-hacking movement, 21,600 beats per hour. The power reserve is a few minutes under 51 hours. It employs a shuttle cam system, although not quite as, I guess, classy or old school as a column wheel. It works just the same. It's just as efficient, and it's more economical to produce. Accuracy on this watch is a little bit over 4 seconds per day. Now, caliber 1861 is a fairly bulletproof movement. It's tried and true, very reliable, and easy to service. As far as the bracelet is concerned, the links are solid, held together by collars and pins, which I'm not overly crazy about, but it works well enough. Would have preferred using screws instead. Clasp has a push button on it, push button shell clasp, and once on the wrist, it's comfortable and secure. The Omega Speedmaster Professional is really one of the great, I would say one of the top 10 great watches, and it deserves a place in any collection of, I guess, important or historical watches, if you will. Now, this watch was recently returned to me by Omega. It went in for an overhaul, and I'll probably follow up on that with a shorter video sometime in the near future if you want to know what the whole overhaul experience is like. I think you'll find it interesting. So stay tuned. I want to thank you again for your viewership, and your comments are greatly appreciated. Until next time, signing off. Bye now.